All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation unto the hopeful elect of Yashar Allah. Peace, mercy, grace, faith, and deliverance. So I just want to make a quick introduction. I'm going to post basically this documentary, but I want to just kind of cover one quick point that, Lord willing, will kind of set the tone and the attitude as brothers are listening to this documentary and, you know, embodying what artificial intelligence really is doing, not only to people, but to the globe, and really why Esau, the so-called white man, is introducing artificial intelligence is because it is a means of him gathering the intellectual property of people, their subconscious thoughts, and really marketing it back to them. But ultimately, he wants to be intrusive in your life. He wants to know every private thought in which you have, you know, really because, you know, he has a complex, and his complex is he has a quote unquote God complex. You know, he wants to sit in the seat of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to pretend that he is Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but knowing that he is not. So his measure of artificial intelligence is really just to promote that. So I'm going to play this video, and I'm going to bring out a scripture. And, you know, I highly recommend, you know, Joachim to watch this series. It'll probably be a couple of segments broken out to where you can digest the information. And Lord willing, you know, it'll be edifying and just gives more clarity on why the RFID microchip ultimately is his end game, because he has to set up all of the infrastructure in which he has, but then also he has to have the people buy into these thoughts to where they're unaware that they are literally providing the data in which Esau is using to stir the behavior of people and drive them to a life of where they're solely dependent on Esau's system of wickedness, which will essentially usher people into taking that RFID microchip, because all things will be essentially autonomous and automated, going into the 5G technology in which he's promoting as well. So all of these things are to really create a universe of the information of things, or the internet of things, Salakia, the internet of things, because that's really what he wants. He wants to be able to utilize every technological device in which he has created to spy on you, you know, and to be able to control your waves, your brain waves, and to influence your behavior and really make you more of a slave ultimately, because that's what the RFID chip really signifies is when someone takes the mark of the beast, they are accepting that Esau, the so-called white man, is their God, and that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is no longer their power. So, yeah, just wanted to make that quick point. So we'll get into the video here, and then we'll bring out a scripture, and Lord willing, this will be edifying.
Whenever we search, whenever we browse, we're leaving behind traces, digital traces of our behavior. And those traces back in these days were called digital exhaust.
They realized how valuable this data could be by applying machine learning algorithms to predict users' interests.
What happened was they decided to turn to those data logs in a systematic way and to begin to use these surplus data as a way to come up with fine-grained predictions of what a user would click on, what kind of ad a user would click on. And inside Google, they started seeing these revenues pile up at a startling rate. They realized that they had to keep it secret. They didn't want anyone to know how much money they were making or how they were making it, because users had no idea that these extra behavioral data that told so much about them, you know, was just out there, and now it was being used to predict their future.
IPO took place just a few years later, the company had a market capitalization of around $23 billion. Google stock was now as valuable as General Motors.
And it was only when Google went public in 2004 that the numbers were released. And it's at that point that we learned that between the year 2000 and the year 2004, Google's revenue line increased by 3,590%.
Now, essentially, that goes to show you how wicked and why Esau, the so-called white man, wants you to subscribe to all these social media platforms and really just to create your life, your digital life, on the cloud-based system, because that is what creates the Internet of Things. So I'm gonna read this quick scripture. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. It says, it's a lot. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, because that's essentially what he's doing. He's magnifying himself through this artificial intelligence, which is ultimately conjuring people into buying into the use of technology and the dependence in which people have with it, to where nothing in which you will be able to buy or sell will be capable without having this RFID microchip technology. So he is essentially magnifying himself because he is the one that came up with this idea. Although we know in accordance with prophecy, all of this is just basically to show that not only he is the wicked, but prophecy will be fulfilled in all those that do not take it and those that do take it. It says, and by peace shall destroy many. Okay, because, you know, typically people think that it's a very peaceful idea to,
whenever we search,
a very peaceful idea just to have a social media website, or to have Facebook friends or Instagram or any of these things. But what is really happening is, as much information as you're providing, Esau, through that peace, through you thinking it's just a peaceful platform, he is actually destroying many, because he's taking all of that information and putting it in databases, you know, that are thinking nonstop of ways to actually alter your behavior, to alter your thought processes, to where you're now being influenced in a direction in which your mind wasn't even thinking of, you know, subconsciously. It says, it says, and through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper. And you know that word craft goes into power. It says power or craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. We already know Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know, scripture says that he, basically he does mischief. I'm gonna grab that real quick because it is in the power of his hand. Okay. This is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Okay, so that is the same power in which Esau, the so-called white man, is doing currently now. But it's through peace. It's through a peaceful web-based technology, or an iPhone, or any really technology, laptops, you know, iPads, iWatches, you know, any technology in which he has connected to the internet. You know, that's really what that movie Terminator, I believe 3 went into, you know, Skynet. You know, and essentially that's what it is. It's feeding this massive artificial intelligence machine to where it could essentially dominate and create more machines to take over your lives, or our lives. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, okay, Yahushua, but he shall be broken without hand. And that goes to show you the power of the spirit, because Yahushua has been breaking them down through the spirit, through the prophets of the Lord, through the magnification of the words of Yahushua. So I just want to get this word here real quick. Peace. It says, and by peace shall destroy many. Okay. So this word here, peace, is
Strong's H7962, Shalva.
Now it says quietness, ease, prosperity. And so when you go back to the video said that essentially in the past couple of years, that revenue in which they've had, in the past 4 years, essentially, in the past 4 years was 3,590%. That's unheard of exponential growth, But that goes to show you, as I was saying, that is the quietness and the ease and the prosperity. Because as he's gathering all this data from you, he's still capitalizing on it, So this is why he's magnifying himself in his heart. He's like, man, like I'm winning, like these people can't do shit about it. All right. Let's play a little bit of this one more time.
2000 and the year 2004, Google's revenue line increased by 3,590%.
See, in 4 years, that prosperity increased, but that's the means by which he has his pride. So, like I said, I just wanted to bring that out real quick. Read that one more time. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy, also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace shall destroy many, because he's going to gather and hoard all of those riches unto himself, and basically it's going to destroy the middle class. It's going to create more of a division between the upper echelon and the bottom feeders. There will no longer be a middle class, because he will hoard all the riches to himself. And if you're not a part of that top tier percent, then automatically you're going to be thrust down into that bottom feeder percent. It says he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, because he's going to be magnified in his heart. He's going to think, I got all this information from all of these people. That's why he's coming up with the space program, all these things, thinking that he's going to deter the prophecy of Yahweh Shema Shah being fulfilled. It says, but he shall be broken without hand. And ultimately, that's what we're longing and looking for, is the return of Yahweh Shai, and really declaring himself and the prophets and really, righteousness forever. But Lord willing, you brothers check out this information. I believe it's very, very valuable because it affects your jobs. It affects your homes. It affects your children, your families, really everything, So when, it talks about the Internet of Things, it's literally talking about anything that has the components and the capabilities of technology will be affected. And essentially this is another form of transhumanism as well. So, just wanted to add that real quick. Lord willing, you brothers doing well. Until the next time, I'm going to say shalom.